Australia's marsupials come in all shapes and sizes. Some bounce, some dig, some can climb, some have square poops. Oh yeah, it's true. But did you know that some fly? Well, kind of. More accurately, they can glide. And today, my good friend and fellow YouTuber Miller Wilson invited me to join him at Australia's Wildlife HQ to have a look and hold one of the cutest crusaders of the treetops, the sugar glider. What's going on, everybody? I'm Mark Vins, and we're here today with our good friend Miller Wilson, a native Australian naturalist and adventurer himself. You have an awesome YouTube channel, and in fact, here's a cool thing. We work with Miller every single time we've come to Australia, and I think these flowers that you have here today are not for me.
Not for you this time.
I don't think.
Not this time anyways.
But you have a pretty cool guest, or I think two guests, that you want to introduce us to.
Yeah, so over here we've got the native sugar glider, and that's what we've got these flowers for.
Okay, so this is willow.
And this is blossom.
Do they eat the flowers, or are they getting the nectar?
They're actually getting the nectar. So how they get their name sugar glider is by their sweet diet. So they love feeding on the nectar out of these flowers and tree sap even.
So are they herbivores? They're just eating the sugar?
No, they're actually omnivores. So apart from these flowers, they'll also feed on small lizards, bird eggs, and have even been known to eat birds.
Really?
Yeah.
So they'll actually jump a bird if they get the opportunity to.
So they come out at night, they're a nocturnal species, and they'll go up into the birds' little hollows, and they'll actually go in there, attack the birds, and eat them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would not expect that from a cute and cuddly animal like the sugar glider. The tail is curling around my finger here. Is this a prehensile tail?
It's a semi-prehensile tail. So what will happen is they won't be able to hang completely, like their whole weight from their tail, but they will use it to balance when they're up there in the tree canopy.
How do they pull off the gliding?
Well, they've got a gliding membrane that connects from their front to their back legs.
Got it.
And what they'll do is they'll... Oh.
Getting a little nervous, a little stage fright over here. Willow just went to the bathroom all over my arm. That's okay, Willow. It happens to the best of us. Why don't you have some flowers?
I'm kind of glad I gave you that one.
Yeah. So you were saying about
the gliding membrane. So they've got it, it connects from its front leg to its back leg, and they'll climb up to the very top of the tree canopy, and they'll push themselves off, glide through the air as they stick out their arms and back legs. And these guys have been known to be able to glide for over 150 feet.
Wow.
Which is just crazy, but normally they only jump from tree to tree. Gliding that far is pretty rare.
And now these sugar gliders are pretty robust in population, right? They're not like a species of concern.
Well, this species of sugar glider isn't endangered, but there are other species like the mahogany and the yellow belly glider that are in trouble. And the reason why they are endangered is because of us. Things like deforestation, urbanization, and even our pets like cats and dogs will really affect these species.
How many offspring can they have?
Well, a female can produce 2 babies at one given time.
Okay.
And they raise them in a pouch as they are a marsupial.
Yeah, so like a kangaroo, it's called a joey,
It's called a joey, yeah,
All right.
and they're about the size of a jelly bean.
Really?
Yeah.
Willow and Blossom have been doing great for us so far, but to keep them comfortable, we're going to give them a little pouch break. Oops, looks like Blossom left a little present on Miller's arm there. Sure glad that's not my sleeve. You know, when we think about marsupials in Australia, they take all different forms. You know, you have obviously the arboreal species like a sugar glider, but then you also have your kangaroos, your wallabies, your wombats.
That's the one species that I've always wanted to see, but they're so elusive here in Australia.
We actually got to work with one at a wildlife park just like this, and they were incredible. They almost look like a mixture between a groundhog and a bear.
Yeah, they're like a little bulldozer. Hey?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Miller, so if most mammals in Australia are in fact marsupials, what's not a marsupial?
Well, you've got bats, you've got rodents, and echidna and platypus, they're monotremes. So the awesome thing about them is they actually lay eggs.
We've definitely seen an echidna before. We have yet to see a platypus. Maybe next time we come to Australia, we'll have to get out there and find ourselves some platypus.
For sure. They're an awesome species.
Well, do we want to see if our friends are ready to come back out for one last look, and then we'll let them take their afternoon naps. And actually, I can see that modified nail in the back, Miller, and they use that as a comb.
Yeah, so a healthy sugar glider will never have any knots in its fur.
And they're very good at climbing, I've noticed.
They are very good at climbing.
I'm just trying to stop Willow from climbing to my arm, and it's almost impossible. You are an expert climber. Hello.
Yes.
That's what they use those little claws for there. So when they're flying through the air, or gliding should I say, they'll actually glide and grip onto trees with those claws.
All right, well, because these are nocturnal creatures, I think it's time for these sugar gliders to have their afternoon nap. This has been a pretty cool experience hanging out with perhaps the cutest marsupial to call Australia home. Thank you so much, Miller, for showing us this amazing creature today. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure to check out Miller's YouTube channel, Miller Wilson. He has all kinds of cool adventures, similar to ours actually. And I know,
And there we go.
adventures just like that.
Yeah,
so definitely
just like that.
check out Miller's channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Miller, thanks again, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate spending time with you today. I'm Mark Vins.
I'm Miller Wilson.
Be brave.
Stay wild.
We'll see you on the next adventure. Cool, that was good. Oh, you all right? Oh.
Yeah. Did you film that?
Yeah. You all right? Did you get your face?
No, it's all right.
Okay, cool. They do have those combs. I think they're trying to tell you something.
That was a knot in my hair. I wanted to get it out.
I think we have all been excited for the Brave Wilderness team to finally explore this epic continent, where the goal is to get up close with some of its most iconic animal species. And while we did break trail off into the outback, don't worry, those episodes are soon to come, we also spent time working with some of the country's top wildlife reserves. Located in Nome, a small town just south of Townsville in North Queensland, the first place we visited was the Billabong Sanctuary. Home to over 50 native species, from koalas and kangaroos to dingoes and massive saltwater crocodiles. This family-owned and operated establishment is without question one of Australia's premier sanctuaries. For nearly 35 years, they have been contributing to conservation efforts while also providing the public with a hands-on education about wildlife, which in turn has proudly made them one of Queensland's top ecotourism attractions. We will be getting to know several of their permanent animal residents, many of which can be considered Australian icons. But to get started, let's meet one bizarre, yet adorable creature that I bet most of you never even knew existed.
Now, the last time I entered an enclosure like this one, I was attacked by monkeys and one latched onto my arm. Not a good day for Coyote, so I'm kind of hoping when I enter this enclosure, it's going to be a little better than my last experience. I have a feeling that this is going to be pretty epic. Are you guys ready to meet Blossom the Possum?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Oh, there she is. Come on in, guys. All right. You good? You good?
Oh my goodness.
Look at you. Hi.
That's a possum?
That is the brush-tailed possum, the largest possum species here in Australia, and an absolutely adorable creature. Hello there, how are you? Now let's give her a second to get acclimated. I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can gently pet her on top of her head. Hi. Oh my gosh, this may be one of the most adorable animals we've ever featured on the show. And when you're thinking possum, I'm sure if you're in the United States, you're thinking, oh, you mean those sort of rat-looking creatures that are running around at night with the bald, long, skinny tails? This creature here, though, certainly doesn't resemble a typical possum. Oh, I see. You're reaching out to try to grab onto me? Let's see. Oh, yeah, no, that's a finger. You don't want to eat that. Actually, let me see if we can get a little bit of leaf here. Let's see if Blossom is hungry. Now, they specialize in eating leaves. Here you go. That's a little bit of spinach right there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, so gentle. And Mark, look at these front feet here. See if you can zoom in on those. Their hands look just like the hands of a normal possum. Look at how sharp those claws are. And as you can imagine, this is a semi-arboreal species, which means that they spend most of their time up in the trees. Okay, let's bring a little more spinach in here. Let's even get Blossom out here. Come here. You want to come all the way out? Come on. You can do it. Oh, look at the reach for it. Oh, the claws are going. I know. She's like, oh, you can go back in there. Now, as you can see, it is daytime right now. Blossom is primarily nocturnal. You see those big buggy eyes? Gives her amazing vision at night. And of course, those large ears indicate that she has excellent hearing. Now, I would really love for you to come out of that box there, Blossom, because I think everybody wants to see your prehensile tail. which all possum species have. But yours is not like the typical possum tail, is it? It's not. Oh, that's what we call a possum kiss right there. Nose to nose with Blossom. Okay, think maybe a little more spinach and you want to come out? Oh, look what Coyote's got. Look at those whiskers. Keep coming, you can do it. Oh, those claws are so sharp. All she needs to do is latch on to the spinach with those claws. And she's kind of like, I don't really want to fully wake up for this episode. All right, let's see. Come on out here. Let's see all the way out here. What if I put it there, Blossom? Then what happens? You gonna come all the way out? You can do it. Everybody wants to see you. This is your big moment. Your big YouTube moment. What do you think? She's like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Oh, look at this. Pumpkin. Perhaps one of Blossom's favorites. Oh, come. Oh, you missed it. Right here. It's right here. Look. Come on, little bird. I wonder if she'll walk out on my arm. Let's see. No. You know what she did there? That's called the trick move. I was thinking, oh, if I put the pumpkin just out in front of me, she'll walk out onto my arm, and all she did is grab that pumpkin and then retreat back into her little hide box. Look at that. Now, this is the trickiest part, getting Blossom to come out in the daylight. Can I lift up the top of her little? Okay, I'm gonna remove the top of her box here. Up here, Blossom. Here come the climbing skills. This way. We're gonna work for this meal. Here she comes. Come on, keep coming. Oh, look how cute that is. Look at her little nose. I'm gonna kind of lift her up there. There you go.
Oh, I see the tail.
There's the tail. Let's see if I can keep her distracted up here and look at the tail. See this prehensile tail? Look at how bushy it is. That's what really separates them from many other possum species. Yeah, feel that.
Oh, wow.
Right, but feel the underside is just like latex.
Oh, wow. Right here.
Yeah. Here we go. Look at that prehensile nature right there. Just curling around my fingers. And this is actually the second largest possum species in the world and the largest species here in Australia. And the face almost looks like the face of a kangaroo. Now, as we know, this species is also a marsupial, one of the quintessential Australian marsupial species. And they get a lot of their moisture from the leaves that they eat. You can see the spinach is very, very juicy. Look at all that juice coming out of there. That's the good stuff, huh? You look pretty cute just inside that little enclosure there. What if I take a picture of you like that? That's a pretty good Instagram post right there. Let's see if we can get that shot. You guys ready? Put this right there. What if you look at that? Oh yeah, there we go. Use this to kind of get you honed in. Oh, that's perfect. So cute. You're gonna get so many likes, Blossom. That's the most adorable face. She's like, well, where'd this bench go? We're gonna put it there. All right, there you go. What do you think? You gonna come out?
I like how she's able to grab like a hand, like a...
Look at that, she can completely hold on. And what's really interesting, kind of like the feet of the kinkajou, the pads of her feet almost feel like latex, and that allows them to have incredible purchase when they're climbing around on the limbs of trees up in the treetop canopy. Blossom, I got some more pumpkin out here. Well, how cool was this? Spending our afternoon hanging out with the brush-tailed possum. There you go. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
Australia is home to a plethora of unique animal species. And whether they are dangerous and potentially deadly, like the eastern brown snake, or absolutely adorable, like the brush-tailed possum, we were excited to be getting the cameras up close. In this episode, we are back at the Billabong Sanctuary. Located in Nome, a small town just south of Townsville in North Queensland, this family-owned and operated establishment is home to over 50 native species. Proudly listed as one of Queensland's top ecotourism attractions, for nearly 35 years, they have been contributing to conservation efforts while also providing the public with a hands-on education about wildlife. Today I will be getting to know one of their permanent residents, a unique marsupial known as Wanda, the wombat.
All right, guys, now the next animal we're going to meet is just over here off to the side, and this is one of the most bizarre looking mammals I think I have ever seen. Have you guys ever heard of a wombat? No, you haven't? Maybe you have? Well, get ready because we're about to meet Wanda. All right, bring her in. Oh, this is gonna be wild. Oh, look at you. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Sure that's not an oversized koala, Coyote?
It kind of looks like a giant gerbil meets a guinea pig, but this is in fact a marsupial. And look, this is her rump right here. Let me see if I can kind of get her to turn this direction. Can I turn her around?
You can push her
Up like this? Oh, she's heavy. Oh, there you go. Oh, let's put you right here. What do you think? Wanna lie down right there? There we go. Whoa, look at that creature. Like a big bump on a log. All right, I'm gonna actually come behind her here. I think that may be easier. Look at that. That is a wombat. Have you ever seen a wombat before?
Never.
This is my first time ever being in contact with a wombat. Look at that adorable face. Hi, how are you doing? Well, if she play bites, they do have rodent-like teeth, and they use those teeth to gnaw through bark, grasses, and roots. And how do you get to those roots? You use those incredible claws, right? Can we take a look at your claws? Because that is one of the most impressive things about the wombat is their ability to dig. I know, we're just starting to get to know each other though, right? Wow, those claws are impressive. Now they have these big paws, right? They spread out like this, almost like the claws of a badger. And they dig down deep into a burrow, and that's where they will get down to the good roots, right? Are the roots better? A little deeper down? Now, this is a marsupial related to koalas, and this is like the koala of the ground, right? They don't actually climb up into trees, but believe it or not, this stout little animal, if it needs to, can move at speeds of close to 25 miles an hour. So short little legs, plump body, and incredible speed. You almost look like a groundhog. Did you know that? We have groundhogs in Ohio, and very similar coloration, but you are not related to a groundhog, are you? No, not at all.
Wanda looks kind of sleepy.
She definitely looks sleepy right now, doesn't she? Now they're primarily nocturnal, so
You're boring the wombat, Coyote.
yeah. Is this not interesting enough for you? You know you're on camera right now. You're gonna be on YouTube. You're gonna be a star. I really want to see those paws. The paws are so impressive. There we go. Oh. Yeah, I saw that. There we go. Well, at least it got you up and standing, huh? Okay, now we can see the paws. All right, guys, zoom in on the paws there and look at those claws.
Oh, they're serious.
Super impressive, right? Now look at the size of her body. I know, I'm not gonna make any sudden movements, I promise. Now, if they're chased by a predator and they start to go into the ground, come around the backside. Let's take a look at the wombat's rump. Come back here. You stay put. All of the backside of the wombat is a solid mass of cartilage. And Art, come up slowly here. See if you can feel the backside of this creature. Not only is the fur incredibly coarse, but this is solid right there. So what they will do is just kind of push their rump up out of the back of the hole, and a predator can't actually get to them. You wanna know something that's really kind of interesting and a little gross, I guess? See them right here by the back end of the wombat? They have a bone in their backs here that when they actually poop, it's kind of like one of those Play-Doh fun factory machines. Their poop is square.
What?
Square poop.
Why?
Now, why? Good question. Now, they only poop about every 14 days, right? It takes that long for all the bark and roots and grasses to process through their system. And then when they drop out that square poop, they actually use their poop to mark their territories. So scientists think that they're square so that they don't roll away. Or I'm guessing in many instances, so that dung beetles don't come in and roll them away. There are many species of dung beetle here in Australia, and those beetles will push the turds away. However, if they're square, they will stay put and then the territory is marked. Pretty cool, huh?
I guess.
Yeah, I know,
kinda
right?
weird.
I'm kind of on the business end of the wombat here, so let's come back around to the front. Let's It's amazing. She is so solid. The mass of this creature's body is very impressive. And here's one thing that's also really interesting. Now, this is a female, right? Because they're marsupials, they have pouches, right? Because they're diggers, you wouldn't want to be throwing all of that dirt into your pouch, right? So kangaroos and koalas have pouches that face forward. The female wombat has a pouch that faces backwards. So I don't think she's gonna let us kind of hold her up and see that pouch, but the pouch does face backwards so that when they're digging, that dirt doesn't go inside and get on the joey. Right, you don't want to get dirt on your joey, do you?
So Perry, I have a question. Is this wombat fully grown?
It is fully grown, right?
She will get a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's actually a small wombat.
This is a small
Oh,
wombat.
this is a small wombat. So
Yeah.
what's
She's
the
about
heaviest
25 kilograms. They can get as big as 30 to 40 kilograms.
30 to
weight.
40 kilograms. Wow,
Really
that's a
double.
big creature. Oh, we got some food. All right, well, let's see if Wanda wants to eat. Carrot, yes. Let's try that. Wanda, let me try it first.
She's not very used to food, but one see what we can.
That's actually really good carrot. Wanda, carrot? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're friends. All right. Well, I found a way to bond with the wombat. It's called a carrot. You know, carrot is one of my favorite snacks. It's a healthy snack, Wanda, just so you know. I'm very proud of you. There you go. Yeah, now let me see if I can kind of like hold it up like this. Let me see if you can see those teeth. Oh, crushers right there. And I see why she's able to chew through bark. Here we go. Yeah, that's good, huh? Are we buddies now? She had to think about it there. You see that? She stopped for a second.
What else do wombats eat besides carrots, Perry?
Well, out in the wild, wombats would be eating grasses and bark and roots. Pretty much a real high fiber kind of diet.
What would be a predator to a wombat? What are they looking out for?
Well, obviously if a wombat wandered down near the edge of the water, it could be eaten by something like a crocodile, but primarily the dingo is the only real threat to a wombat of this size. Now, a smaller one I imagine would be taken by something like an eagle or a large hawk, but you're definitely not going to be able to pick up a creature of this size if you're a bird of prey. And I can't imagine the talons would be able to even pierce through that thick fur and skin. Whoop. Okay. got down to the nub of the carrot there. That's about as far as you go. Don't want to lose the tips of your fingers to a wombat. Been bitten by many creatures, and I don't think the wombat is one that I want to add to the list. There you go. A little more fiber for that diet, huh?
Well, she didn't like the jokes, but she likes the treats.
You know, whatever you got to do to make friends with a wombat, this definitely worked. I oftentimes find that it is food that gets the animal to liven up a little bit. There you go. Yeah, this is a little different than the carrot, huh? I gotta chomp away at that. Now you're waking up, huh?
Hi, Wanda.
So Wanda is a rescued wombat, and sadly her mother was hit by a car, and they found her as a little joey inside of her pouch. And she was saved, and she was actually hand-raised, and is now here at the sanctuary, and is part of a wombat breeding program. That's right, you've got a boyfriend, don't you? I think she's done eating the leaves. She doesn't really like these grasses as much as she did the carrot.
Looks like she's looking for an escape route.
Yeah, getting ready to jump off of there, huh?
That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah. You notice the sun is starting to get low in the sky, and once it gets dark out, Wanda is going to become very active. As a nocturnal creature, she's going to be out and about searching for food. But we did have a carrot, and we had some grasses, and I think at this point, it's time to call it a day. But that was pretty cool, hanging out with the one and only Wombat. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Upon arriving in Australia, I had my sights set on getting up close with some of the country's most iconic mammalian inhabitants. However, approaching mammals in the wild is incredibly difficult, as most species are very weary of human interaction, so encounters tend to be nothing more than a fleeting glimpse. The best solution for getting an up-close and personal interaction is to work at a wildlife park where native animals are being rehabilitated or raised under the care of humans.
So we reached out to the Billabong Sanctuary, an establishment that has been providing the public with a hands-on approach to learning about native species for over 35 years. Located just outside of Townsville, they're considered one of Queensland's premier ecotourism attractions, and their grounds are home to various Australian icons, including kangaroos, wombats, dingoes, and of course, the one and only koala. So if you are in the mood for an extreme dose of cute and cuddly, then this is definitely the episode for you.
Harry, what do you have there?
Well, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is breakfast time. And today, I'm having breakfast with a koala. So I'm bringing this eucalyptus into its enclosure and see if we can get it to eat. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Now you can't eat this, can you?
No, it's toxic for me, but it is perfect for Banjo. Hi, buddy, how are you?
Who's Banjo?
This is Banjo, the koala. He is a big koala, too. All right, let's do this. You see this? We've got a couple of water troughs right here and on this side. And what I'm gonna do is place these branches of eucalyptus inside these little water troughs. Smells just like a cough drop. All right, looks like he's interested in these leaves. Mark, why don't you come around this side? Let me see. Koalas are very specialized because they only eat eucalyptus leaves. And there are hundreds of species of eucalyptus trees, and they're very selective about the leaves that they will eat. Only a few varieties actually interest these animals. There's breakfast is right there. Look it, here's the good ones. And they really only eat the tips. Now let's see. Oh, you're sitting in the leaves. You're sitting on your breakfast, Banjo. Have a scratch.
Koala scratch.
There you go. All right, I'm gonna take off my pack here. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Starting to snack. Oh, that's the good stuff. Look at that. Wow. Pretty good, huh?
Now, how much eucalyptus can this koala eat, Coyote?
A lot. Now, they're primarily nocturnal, so during the day they spend a lot of their time sleeping up in the trees. But as soon as it gets cool and dark out, they start to get active. Now, early in the morning like this, they will also eat. They spend the majority of their day sleeping, up to 18 hours a day sleeping, and the rest of the time, they're pretty much just feasting. And they can eat about 1 kilogram of leaves every single day. And they like these younger tips of the leaves. You see these? The softer, juicier leaves, and they absorb most of their moisture from the food that they eat.
So it's their food and their water.
Food and water at the same time. I mean, they're an arboreal species, so primarily they're staying up in the treetops. So they get down on the ground, they stand the chance of running into potential predators like dingoes. Now, up in the trees, you may be thinking to yourself, well, what could get up in a tree and eat something like a koala? Obviously a bird of prey like an eagle or a very large hawk, but for the most part, they stay pretty tucked down when they're sleeping and stay camouflaged up against the trunk of a tree. They're gonna be just fine. Oh, and can you see that? Look, you can kind of see those front teeth there. Similar to the teeth of a wombat, very rodent looking. Now, they are related to wombats. As we know, they are marsupials. Now, most marsupials have pouches. However, Banjo is a male. The males do not have pouches. But the females, when they have a baby, it's called a joey, right? And the joey is tiny, only the size of a jelly bean when it's born. It has no fur, no ears, and it's completely blind. Now, it will stay in the mother's pouch for around 5 to 6 months. Once it develops enough, then it will crawl out from the pouch and just hang out to the mother's back and sort of stick with it until it's big enough to head out on its own. All right, Mark, check this out. This is really cool. Go ahead and zoom in right through these leaves. You see that yellowish mark right there in the center of that cream-colored chest?
Is that dirt?
No, that is actually the koala's scent gland. It secretes a very strong musk. And Banjo, I'm just gonna touch your little scent gland there if you don't mind. Let me see. Oh, that is a very strong smell. I read that koalas smell somewhere between a real strong musk and eucalyptus. So what I did want to do is I want to smell the koala. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, very strong smell. I would say somewhere between a muddy, grimy, wet dog and a really old cough drop. And here, smell the tip of my finger.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is some strong musk, but to a female koala, that must smell excellent.
Well, it looks like Banjo has had a fair share of eucalyptus leaves. I think you guys all want me to get a more up-close look, right?
You gonna hold the koala?
I'm gonna hold a koala. Here we go. All right, now, what I need to do, hey Banjo, let's do this. I'm gonna get in real close. And he's gonna just kind of put his hand up there. I want to support his backside. Whoa, let's go like that. Here we go, buddy. Hop on down. Whoa, there we go. Just like cradling a baby, only much softer.
Koala hug.
Banjo. That's what we call the koala cuddle right there. Wow, so dense. Oh my gosh, the fur is incredible. You don't really realize it until it's actually on you, but
it's almost like a lamb.
I know, right? Like lamb's wool, koala's wool, very, very dense. And a lot of animals, you think about having these coarse outer guard hairs, and he's just dense and billowy all throughout. Oh my gosh, you are just so cute. I'm trying to talk rather quiet next to his ears. Look at the ears. Kind of reminds me of Gizmo from Gremlins with those big ears. And they do have excellent hearing. Look how they can kind of individually move each one of those ears too. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Very cool. I think it's really neat how they have those vertical pupils too. Go ahead and zoom in on the eyes there. So calm, so kind. It's a koala hug. Oh, I can smell his scent gland. And it's kind of pressed up against my chest there, so I think I'm probably gonna smell like a koala for the rest of the day, which would attract in some female koalas, but when it comes to everybody else being around me, sorry guys, I may have to ride in the back of the truck on the way home.
Ew.
Oh my gosh, look at that big nose.
Looks like he's going to sleep.
Well, he did have that big breakfast of eucalyptus leaves. Is it almost nap time? What do you think? Let's do it like this. Can you see how his claws are just hooked onto my shoulder there?
Oh yeah.
Those are some serious claws, right?
Can you feel those claws?
Yeah, I can feel them holding on to me. I mean, they aren't like piercing through my shirt or anything like that, but I am just trying to make calm movements. I don't want to startle him in any way whatsoever. He seems just very content to hang out on me. It's good, huh? All right, well, I think Banjo is pretty comfortable with me at this point, so let's crouch down and get into a slightly more comfortable position. There we go. Oh, what a big cuddler. I think we can all agree that the koala is arguably the most adorable animal that we've seen so far here in Australia. But a lot of times people often think that these are bears because of the term koala bear. But the koala bear, in fact, is not related to bears at all. And as we know, it is a marsupial, which means, of course, that they have a pouch. Now, notice how quiet Banjo is, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, koala is like the most stealthy, silent creature you've ever held onto, Coyote. But believe it or not, koalas are capable of making some incredible sounds, especially the males. They can do this large guttural bellow, this sort of sounds kind of like a howler monkey if I were to compare it to something. And that's sort of a territorial dominance thing. It also can draw in the females, basically saying, I am the king of this eucalyptus tree. Is Banjo gone to sleep?
No, still awake.
On this side, and he's got one eye closed. He's taking a little koala cat nap.
Andrew wasn't very impressed by your
No, I guess
koala
my bellow wasn't quite enough. Turn it this way. Here we go. You guys want to know a fact that's pretty interesting, but also kind of gross?
I have a feeling you're going to tell us anyway.
I am going to tell you. I don't know if you guys want to hear this one, but we know that adult koalas eat eucalyptus leaves, and the microorganisms in their digestive tract help break down those leaves and allow them to deal with the toxins. However, the babies are not capable of eating the leaves yet, so what they have to do is eat their mother's poop.
Oh, why is that?
Now, the reason they do that is that the bacteria that's transferred from the poop into the babies helps coat the inside of their digestive tracts so that they're then capable of eating those leaves and breaking them down. How would you like that, to start out by eating your mom's poop before you actually got a full nourishing meal? Pretty gross, right? Oh. All right, guys, well, I don't think you can visit Australia without getting the chance to see one of these iconic animals. And getting the chance to hold one is absolutely amazing. Now, I feel bad because I've been snuggling Banjo this entire time. You guys have been behind the cameras, kind of saying to yourselves, oh my gosh, it's so adorable, but you like to hold a koala.
I want to hold a koala. Mario?
Absolutely.
You want to
All right,
hold
Mario,
Banjo?
how about you go first here?
Okay.
Transfer him.
Whoa. Now you're going to smell like a koala.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I do. I smell like a koala. All right, I'm gonna get out this camera so Try and get some shots of this here.
Mario, you're doing it.
What do you think?
So my first thought is it's solid. And it kind of feels like I'm holding a baby. You know? Kind of just have to be like very gentle and slow with your movements. Oh.
Watch your face. Some sharp claws. I think he likes your hat.
Yeah, he's like, give me that hat.
Heavier than you'd think, right?
Oh my goodness. Hi. Hi. How are you? When I was a kid, I'm sure you did too, we ate those treats, koala yummies. You remember those?
Oh yeah, I remember koala yummies.
And I remember when I was a kid thinking, like, I wonder if I'll ever get to actually hold a real koala bear. And this is that moment. I smell like Cheez-Its, you know, like the cheddar snacks.
Really?
I think maybe it's his like musk gland or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cheesy, pungent smell, but totally worth it. Totally worth to get to hold a koala bear. You can definitely feel those claws, guys. Oh, that's what it was. That was the Cheez-It smell.
You were the musk gland.
The musk gland. Oh.
Well, I don't think anyone would argue with me if I said that the koala was unquestionably the most adorable animal that we have seen here in Australia. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, let's get Banjo back up into his roost.
The marsupials of Australia are some of the most unique creatures on our planet. And getting the chance to work alongside several of them, including Blossom the Bushtail Possum, Wanda the Wombat, and Banjo the Koala, really opened my eyes as to how diverse our planet truly is. If you ever have the chance to visit Australia and happen to find yourself near Townsville, definitely take a day to visit the Billabong Sanctuary, where you can see all the fantastic residents that we feature on the Brave Wilderness channel. Beverly Hills claim to many iconic animal species, and I am sure that if I asked you to name a few, it wouldn't be hard to shout out creatures such as crocodiles, koalas, and arguably the outback's most recognizable, the kangaroo.
Hi, bud. How are you?
These powerful marsupials are endemic to Australia, which means this great continent is the only place in the world they can be found. And while it's not uncommon to see them hopping across the countryside, to get up close with a troop of them, we needed to visit a location where they were acclimated to humans. And the best place to do that was the one and only Billabong Sanctuary. Located in Nome, a small town just south of Townsville in North Queensland, the Billabong Sanctuary is considered to be one of Australia's top ecotourism attractions.
There it is. That is the Billabong, and this is where the Billabong Sanctuary gets its name.
For over 35 years, they have been contributing to conservation efforts while also providing the public with a hands-on education about wildlife. And while some of their species are considered too dangerous to interact with, like feeding a saltwater crocodile by hand, feeding kangaroos is an experience the crew and I simply couldn't pass up on. So if you're ready, grab your snacks, because it's kangaroo feeding time.
Okay, well this is cool. Now there are multiple different kangaroos that live on the grounds here at the Billabong Sanctuary. And that right there is the red kangaroo. Now this is the largest land mammal here in the continent of Australia. I have some kangaroo feed with me right here. Let me see if I can get this kangaroo to have a little snack. Hi, buddy. How are you? It's like, I don't know. Now, the red kangaroo, I'm told, is shyer than the eastern greys that are here. Oh, we're bringing in the whistling ducks. The whistling ducks also love this food. Look at that. Ow, ow. Oh, those little beaks are sharp.
Really?
Yeah.
Try that.
I get little pinches there.
Never hand pet a duck.
Oh, look, they're fighting with each other now. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Jeez, that one really got me good. Look at these.
Oh, that's a goose.
It's like a vulture goose right there. Yeah, that'll give you a wallop.
Ah, look at that.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I can probably catch one of these ducks. He's like, nope. All right. So,
The red kangaroo's gone.
And the red kangaroo, just like that, disappeared. All right, let's go find the eastern grays. Right there.
You see one?
I see one. Look right through there.
Oh yeah.
You see it? Let's see if the whole group is here. What's going on, guys? Look at this. Everybody's having dinner. It's amazing that we can just come right in and get up close with a kangaroo.
And these kangaroos are not in enclosures. They just roam freely.
They roam freely here at the sanctuary, and they decide when and where they want to go. And right now, because it is feeding time, they're all gathered around. We've got some delicious kangaroo pellets.
Oh, you're eating it? Oh no, oh, coyote. Oh.
Really dry, kind of tastes like bran meal. Look at this one here. Hey bud, how are you? How are those grasses? Oh, look at this, this is a mama. You've got a joey sticking out on this backside here. Hey, you know it's dinner time, right? Maybe it's still small enough to be drinking milk. And here's something maybe you didn't know. All baby marsupials are called joeys. So whether it's a possum, a kangaroo, a wombat, or a koala, they're all considered joeys. Oh, look at this. He's getting ready to come out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Look at that. Right there.
Oh, I see it.
Little joey coming out.
Oh, how cute it is.
That's kind of interesting is that I didn't know that joeys could turn around inside the pouch like that. So you actually have the hind legs hanging out here, and the hand, and the little face. Hi, bud. How are you? Coming out for some dinner?
Now, how much longer till that joey's out of the pouch?
Well, that's what's cool is that the joeys can go in and out of the pouch. Now, when they're really little, they stay inside of the pouch, not only to nourish off of the mother's milk, but they also use it as protection and as a place to sleep. Now, until that kangaroo is big enough to not fit in the pouch, it will continue to go into the pouch until it can sort of take care of itself. I love the design of the kangaroo's head. Almost looks like the head of a deer. And what's similar to deer is that they can actually individually move their ears. So they can listen in one direction and turn another ear like 180 degrees and hear what's behind them. They don't actually even have to move their heads to be able to listen.
Now, what is that kangaroo eating?
Some sort of, almost looks like razor grass, but it's just some sort of a sweet grass. That's good. I can see why you guys like that.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we go feed some of those kangaroos over there on the hill?
Okay. I'm gonna steal some of this. Let's see. You want some? There you go. Right, we're gonna see if these kangaroos over here want to have some food. Hi, bud. Look, I got some treats for you.
Look at this little guy.
Hopped right up. There you go. Their little noses are so soft. This is a little juvenile. And this is a great example of a kangaroo that is now big enough to be outside of its mother's pouch. But even though they look docile and gentle, if you were to ever come across a kangaroo in the wild, you have to remember that they can be very territorial, especially the males. And the last thing you want to happen is to be kicked by one of those hind legs. Now the hind legs are incredibly powerful. Let's take a look at that with this little joey. It's just hanging out with us here. They are powerful, powerful parts to this animal. And there's a lot of muscle right in here. And then in the back is where they have their Achilles tendon. Oh, you see that jump right there? And it's like this creature is spring-loaded, almost like when you stretch a rubber band, when they bend down and then leap off, that hop can project them forward at incredible speeds. Now, when the kangaroo reaches top speeds, it's capable of bounding a single leap that's as far as 30 feet, and if it needs to, it can jump at a height of close to 10 feet. And for reference, that's as tall as an NBA basketball rim. It's interesting, kangaroos have teeth that are very similar to the teeth of the wombat and the koala. It seems like all marsupials have a very similar dental structure. And it is, again, this animal is a combination of multiple things from the United States, like the head and ears look like that of a deer, the legs are like that of a rabbit, and then the tail, well, I guess I've never seen a tail quite like that before, have you?
No. Now, I would say that their fur is almost like under fur. It's not very wiry, it's very soft.
No, it is really, really soft. Well, I can imagine that with how hot it is in Australia, they need to keep cool. And during the heat of the day, kangaroos will actually curl up in the shade. And here's something kind of interesting. They will lick their paws, their forearms, and their legs to stay cool. So you know, like a dog will pant to sweat, the kangaroos cool themselves down by licking their arms and hands.
Let's see this, see if I can get a
carrot.
feed it again. How about a carrot? You like a carrot?
Nope.
No? How
No
about
carrots.
Carrot? I was told they like carrots.
Guess not. They must have a very high in fiber diet with all these little bran pellets that they're eating. Oh, there's a hop away. Look at that.
Well, I think dinner time might be over.
Yeah, well, the sun is starting to get low in the sky, and at this point they're probably getting ready to hunker down for the night. Of course, there are no predators for you here at the sanctuary, are there? A real nice, safe place to sleep under a tree, maybe? What do you think? You want to have a sleepover? Have a camp out? Would that be cool? Haha, it'd be so cool to camp out with a kangaroo. That's a GoPro camera. You ever seen one of those?
Oh.
Heard something off in the distance, huh? Well, I would say that this was the perfect end to our day, hanging out for dinner with the eastern gray kangaroo. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.